topic because we're gonna share exactly what we do. Now, I love it. So, Megan and I didn't always have our act together. These were our original, the ones at the top. The current ones you can see at the bottom. But, we started with something. It wasn't perfect. They were stock images of challenge packs, but we still did our best to invite. Now that has come a long way since we first signed up to be coaches, and these are more now what our invite posts look like. But I think that it's really cool that Megan and I have both built this business, both being incredibly shy. This is not our zone, being up in front of a bunch of you guys. Would anybody else here have a heart attack if they were standing up here? Also, you guys get to sit down after this morning's workout, and our legs are dying right now. Yeah, it's super fun. So we want to share with you guys exactly how two shy, introverted girls can both see massive success in the business in their own way. We both built the business incredibly differently and both in our own way. So Megan's going to go through that for you guys.
Right, so as she said, we were just as much amateur in the beginning as everybody else, but we figured out what works for us, and different things did work for us. But what we did know is that there were two different buckets that we had to fill. We can't just invite to our groups to build a long-term sustainable business. We had to fill the buckets of inviting to our team and talking to coach prospects and inviting to the programs. That was my jam, and that's how I lead my business. Angie is a little different, but I have found my most success leading with fitness, leading with the challenge groups, giving people an amazing challenge group experience, leading with giving them amazing results, falling in love with our team culture, with the community, so that they could see themselves sharing it with others. Because I'm trying to attract people like me who never saw themselves as a leader, or never saw themselves in sales, never saw themselves as somebody who could confidently share themselves. People like me who are self-conscious, shy, and just would turn their nose up at something like an LM. But Angie, on the other hand, her jam is sharing the opportunity, leading with that. She has found her most success and her best coaches that way, right, Angie?
Yeah, it's so cool that we both built it entirely differently. We rocked it out in our own way, and that's something we want you guys to understand, is that you rock your business your way, you'll rock it. And once we kind of stepped into just owning who we were and what we loved and what made this business fun, that's what made it take off. And something that I stepped into, it took me a couple months to find my way, but I really enjoyed signing up coaches and helping them get started. And that was really my main focus. To be honest, we don't really have many discount coaches on our team. I really do attract business builders, and you get what you post, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But the other thing that I kind of found early on was Instagram, and I know Megan has built her business on Facebook. I've now recently found YouTube, which we're going to talk to you guys as well, but it's really neat that there is two buckets in your business to fill. You don't have to fill them equally, but you need to find what you love, and you do need to fill them each a little bit, and find one that drives you and that you find fun and invigorating, that makes you want to continue to invite, that you feel good about inviting. And so, do we have any introverted, shy people in the house? Yeah? Okay, yeah, you guys are our people. So that's usually something that holds a lot of us back with inviting, and if we're being real, all out there, it's fear that's stopping us from inviting. That's what it was for me. That's what it was for Megan. We were scared of what people might think. Even hopping on a live video might give us a small heart attack, or filming a video, or sending out an email invite, or sending out a private message, or just even crafting that first invite post is incredibly daunting. So how do you get over that if you are incredibly shy? So I will tell you a tip that I actually did as a new coach, and it worked incredibly well, and I still do it to this day. So I found it incredibly daunting to think about the potential 1,000 people that might see the post one day, and I just focused on that. I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, there's going to be like 100 people on this live that could watch a recording of this, and it could end up like that. This super overwhelming to think that, and that's where our head tends to go. Instead of just thinking of the one best friend that you have, maybe it's a coach on your team, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it is your friend that's maybe not yet a coach, and they think that you are the most hilarious thing they've ever met in their life. I have a friend called Lauren, and she was a girl that followed me on Instagram in the beginning. She turned into a challenger, she then signed up as a coach, and she's now an elite coach. So I always just thought of Lauren from the very beginning. It's funny that she kind of followed that sequence, but I posted thinking about Lauren, I sent emails thinking about Lauren, I filmed videos only speaking to Lauren. And so what I did is I attracted more Laurens, more elite coaches, more coaches that understood me, and it also didn't overwhelm me, and I was just more authentically me. So I never strive to sell, I'm just trying to relate to my Lauren. So find your person that, just thinks that you're hilarious. And something that I wanted you guys to write down is that someone you haven't even met yet is wondering what it might be like to know someone like you. And you might think that your story is average and that it's not that exciting, but I'm telling you, there's someone out there that is dying to know someone like you and that has gone through what you've gone through.
Right, so we would talk about those strengths that you have that make you you. How many of you have spent time, like 10, 20, 30 minutes scrolling your newsfeed or searching for particular coaches that have success, trying to find inspiration in their posts, trying to figure out what to post? Yeah, okay, good. because I found myself doing that a lot, because my strength is not speaking or the written word or like being articulate. I'm just not. But even the most inarticulate thing, and I figured this out eventually. Sometimes I just throw it out there, what was on my mind, even if it was kind of silly and typos. Even the most inarticulate thing that I can say, as long as it's from me and not super like wordy, is still going to attract what I want to attract. People who get me, who know me. And if you are an introvert like one of us, okay, extroverts, there's a lot of positive being an extrovert. You love this environment, you love people, this gives you energy. The rest of us were like, really zapped right about now, we're like drained. And it's not that we don't love people, we love people. I love people. But we thrive more in a smaller, intimate environment. We like to be one-to-one. Like, I love her tip, because that's exactly your strength, introverts. You are great in a setting where you get to talk more intimately. You don't want small talk. It's low lame and boring. I hate small talk. But I want to get deep, and that's the advantage to being an introvert. Shy, it can be a challenge, but like, if you actually love these programs and what they've done for you as an introvert, you can't help but like want to get deep with somebody and share that. So I want you to spend less time scrolling the feeds, looking for inspiration from someone else. When I see the same coaches following me and looking at my stories and commenting, I'm like, girl, go spend time developing you. Or invite somebody. Just use that time to invite, to develop what makes you you, and to tell your story. So let's talk about your story and what that looks like. But before I do that, let me just say this, because I know this is something that I've said to myself, and I wonder if you said this to yourself. Who am I to like position myself as some kind of authority to share about fitness and getting in shape? Who am I to position myself as a business owner to like talk to people about joining a business? Like, who am I? What are people going to think when I talk about that? Like, people are not going to take me seriously. Listen to this, and if you want to put this in your notes as an affirmation, and please hear me, you can confidently and boldly be an expert, because you are. You are an expert in your story. You are an expert in how these products, how this business, how this company, how your team, you are an expert in how that has transformed your life. Nobody can take that from you. Nobody is more qualified for that job and that role, okay? So let's talk about that story, what that is. If you haven't taken the time to develop your story, your brand, that's a scary word, don't let it scare you. It just means what makes you you. So if this is something that you struggle with, here are some questions that I encourage you to write down and to take the time after. You're not gonna have time during your presentation or right now to really flesh this out, but take the time a little bit later to dig into these questions and figure this out. What have you overcome? What have you struggled with? What do you still struggle with? What do you get asked about the most? What do people come to you for? If you were to win an award today, what would it be for? It could be something silly. Maybe it's organizing pantries. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be epic or something that actually has an award for. What are you most proud of? What do you just geek out over? What can you talk about for hours? You attract people who are just as quirky and odd and amazing as you when you share that. I was just saying, so like, I love Angie's Disney thing. Like, come on, these shoes, how awesome are these? Like, I would look like silly because it wouldn't make sense, but it's so like her.
They're not even shoes, they're slippers. And
whatever. See, that's what works. And I love that because you know other people like her, that is so magnetic. Somebody who just loves who they are and shares and shares who they are, that is so attractive and appealing. Own that. So I had the privilege of hearing from Donald Miller. He's the CEO of Story Brand. It's a company that helps business owners to determine what their story is and to tell their story through media. I was at a conference and he was sharing that. So story is a sense-making device that keeps people's butts in a seat for 2-3 hours in a movie, right? Like, it's something that makes sense and keeps us engaged. Or keeps them turning the pages in a book. It's what keeps that person like engaged. And he says, humans spend 30% of their time daydreaming. We spend almost a third of our time in daydream. Our story, it's up to us each day to captivate them, to stop that daydream and put them in our story. That's what you get to do as you flesh out what that is for you. You have to tell people a message 8 times for them to hear it, so you have to continue to tell this story. He maps out how all stories are told. It's a character who has a problem, who meets a guide, who gives them a plan that either results in success or failure. And if you think about any movie, any story is pretty much what it looks like, right? Here's the thing. In your story, you're the guide, and they're the hero at the end. So as you tell your story, that's what we're trying to position ourselves as, the guide.
All right, so is there any squares in the room? You know how Connie's presentation yesterday, squares? I feel like the squares are probably thinking right now, okay, she said that they were gonna swear how they invite and they still haven't done that. That's what I would be thinking. So while you guys are developing your brand and developing a story, we wanna give you like the gold stuff of how we actually invite. We talk to our top coaches on how they actually get invites. I love the phones, like, oh my gosh. So these are some of our coaches and exactly what they do. And these are ways to get invites out now. Like not waiting after you've developed your story and your brand. So that, just so you know, your brand and your story will be forever developing and you're forever gonna be working on it. We're still working on ours. So don't let that ever hold you back. But how do you invite today? Like literally leaving this room. How can you send those invites out and get to more yeses? Now, one thing that my coach Allison does, who is that little beautiful face in the center picture that you can see, she does polls. And one thing that she'll do is she will put out, do you struggle with nutrition? She'll humanize herself and she'll share that. So out of 300, I think 80 some people saw this story, 93% said yes, they struggle. You know what she's gonna do? She's gonna tap on that. It's gonna pull up all the people that voted yes, and she's gonna send them a direct invite message to her upcoming 2B Mindset Challenge group. Boom. That's a lot of people. The 2 extremity pictures that you can see are by a coach called Mandy Kai. You guys are probably gonna get to know about her very soon because last year this time at Summit, she was an Emerald coach. She walked in this Summit as a 9-star diamond elite. She's locked in elite already. I haven't even done that. Megan, you didn't do it yet, right? She's a unicorn. I don't even know how she did it. So this is what she does on Instagram stories. She doesn't give an option to say no. She says, do you need help with either fitness and nutrition, boom, Lift 4 challenge group, or maybe 80-day obsession, nutrition, 2B Mindset Challenge group invite. And that's what goes out to those people. And then the one that you can see on the right of her transformation that's so key to have an amazing transformation, this is her transformation from the 80-day obsession. She says, would you like help, with your summer body? Tell me more or just sign me up. So guess who she invites? All of them. And she knows how to talk to each person. The people that say, just tell me more, maybe need a little bit more information, obviously. The people that are ready to sign up, will they sign up? So that's how they do it. And this is a tip of how Megan and I have both grown our Instagram. So we mentioned that we have built our businesses on Instagram, and this is how we grow a following of new people that are coming in consistently. So we used our page as an example, but you probably don't want to do this with another coach because they probably have coaches following them, or a super trainer. I wouldn't do it with them either, and I'm just being honest. I would say to follow someone that is maybe a social media influencer in a field that you're just interested in. Like for me, it would be Disney, or maybe another fitness influencer, or a fashion blogger, whatever it is that you're into, and click on their followers number. The people that are following them are your target audience. So this is literally what I do. Every single day for the last 5 years, I've spent about 30 minutes to an hour doing this. I'll pull up the followers list and I'll go, oh, she's adorable, she'd make a great coach. Open up her page, like 5 pictures, comment on 3, and if she's awesome, then I follow her. Or I send her a direct message. That's the 5-3-1 rule. You guys, this is gold. So this is how I've also grown my following. One of my coaches named Mickey, she's a star diamond coach on my team. I asked her, and this is a great tip to ask your coaches, especially the rock stars, ask them, how did you find me? And one thing that I hear a lot is, oh, I entered your giveaway like 2 years ago and I just followed you ever since, and then I saw that you were a coach and I was curious about it. Amazing how that works. So I did a giveaway a couple months ago just for some cheap resistance loops that I found on Amazon that I thought were cute. And I said, follow me, tag 3 of your friends, so they're your target audience as well. And this will grow your following. And then leading up to the deadline of the giveaway, I just share it on my stories. So it's an amazing way to get new people into your page and seeing what it is that you do. And of course, your own testimonial. I don't mean, waiting for challengers and waiting for your business to get started. You should be 100% committed to your own transformation, your own testimonial, whether you want to lose 20 pounds or you have 5 pounds to gain. And that's something that held me back a lot. My transformation was that I gained 5 pounds or 10 pounds. And I didn't, I didn't really have that amazing transformation. That was something that held me back tremendously. When I just worked on me and I became a product, I know that that's so annoying because of viral behavior, but it's the truth. If you work on it and you truly aren't playing the game of, I'm starting on Monday for day 1, but if you're honest and you could literally tell me right now I'm on day 28 of the 80-day obsession, that's how you know that you're committed and you're actually a product of the product. And Megan has got some more how to invite gold.
Right, so video and voice have been my secret sauce lately, and then using that to invite. I know a lot of you probably already use voice message in your Facebook Messenger, and that's really great because it does personalize it for people to get to know truly who you are. I kind of discovered this by mistake because I have rigorous ADHD, and I struggle with my thumbs keeping up with my brain, and I communicate better when I can just say it. And so I started to voice message, or video DM somebody. I was like, they're probably gonna think this is so presumptuous to put my face in their DMs right now, but like, I wanted to share something with her before my thumbs would, my brain would surpass my thumbs. And so I started doing it, and I just kept going. I try to keep it, minimal, but she loved it, and and I get complimented on it all the time because people feel like they get to know you. It feels personal. People desire to connect through social media, and that girl actually in that exact example, actually just signed up as a coach just this past week. Because we got to know each other pretty quick, and she knew if we were, we were tight, if we were girls, based on that communication. I'm using video email with tremendous success. I use it to invite, I use it in my communication with my coaches, I use it in communication with my challengers. When I check in on them each week, I just talk to them, I put the more fact-based, bullet point type stuff in the text, but I engage with them through video email. I use bombbomb.com. That is a paid software, but I've discovered something called, or just a Google extension. I think if you just Google video email, it puts this little, video email extension. You upload it in Gmail, you can pop a little video just like that. When they open their inbox, they have and there's like a little 1 or 2 second movement of the video, so it catches their eye and they listen, and that actually helps them to get to know you faster and engage with you. And it's, at the end of the day, people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and this is kind of that fast track for me to get there. So we have to go out and create these opportunities to invite. People don't just show up in our inboxes because we've developed the best posts and we spend an hour on one of the 500 graphic apps on our phone and develop something. No, it's because we're creating opportunities to get ourselves noticed, to get in their inbox. So that's your job, to get more notice on you right now. Social media is noisy. In 2018, quality over quantity is what works. They used to tell us, I know back when Angie and I were getting going, it was more like 3 to 5 posts a day was what was recommended. Now it's more like 1 or 2, as long as they're higher quality. But you now need to get yourself noticed and get some eyeballs on you. Hack those algorithms. All you need to know about algorithms is that the more you engage with somebody, the more relevant you are. Facebook Instagram thinks that you are to them, and they will serve you and your content up to them on a platter because it seems that you're relevant. And how do you get relevant? And you comment, you like, you message, you engage. Facebook thinks, oh, this person matters to this person, so I'm gonna make sure they see more of their stuff. That's your job. One of the tips I've used, because I truly believe in Insta Stories. I started on Facebook, that's still something that works for me, but Insta Stories, Instagram is where I think people are really, they're more likely to engage with you. When you do stories, you're inviting people into your sticky kitchen, that place where you would only invite your best friends, right? You wouldn't let someone come up to your door, like, you wouldn't let them in when you haven't like cleaned the kitchen and there's dust and crumbs, right? You're like, but in your Insta stories, they're up in that, and you guys are tight. So be vulnerable, be you. Be somebody that they feel like, okay, I get her, I get him. They're like me. If you haven't noticed the little circle that goes around our little circle profile pictures in Facebook and Messenger, I get my video stories up in their face by messaging them. Because as soon as they open up their Messenger and see a message from me, they're gonna see my circle and think, oh, what's she doing today? Otherwise, they very well may not have. So use those tips to like hack, be a ninja of those algorithms. Something that I was avoiding for a long time was messaging the people who liked my posts. I know a lot of you figured this out sooner than me. Good, I'm glad you did. I didn't. I was like super shy and super awkward and uncomfortable with reaching out to people. So this was a demographic that I missed for a long time until I realized one day, these are people who are actually like desperate for me to reach out to them. Generally, you might find people that are just supporting you, and that's great, and I'll say that. And so in this example, you'll see I just said, hey, I don't know if you were actually like interested, or just thanks for your support, I appreciate it, but I went ahead and invited them to the coaching opportunity. And just, I don't know if you'd be interested, but hey, I have this going on, would you want to take a peek? Sure enough, they did, and I had been ignoring these people for the longest time, assuming that would be too presumptuous, but sure enough, they wanted confidence from me. These are the people who are like, I'm interested, but I'm afraid to actually say I'm interested and to actually message her, so it'd be cool if she like saw that I was kind of interested and maybe she'd reach out to me. Do it, because that's what they need from you. Also, in the other example, you'll see curiosity marketing is really working right now. So we're not talking about branded programs. We love Beachbody, right? But we're not saying those words and those brands, those key words. We're keeping it vague, a little mysterious. We're kind of seducing them with the right words that keep their eyes on us. So in this, I'm teasing them right now with desserts, but I'm not giving them the goods yet. I'm not saying the recipe. Of course, like, who wants the recipe? Blowing up under my posts. They want the open invitation into inboxes, guys. Find ways to like tease so you have this open invitation to engage with people.
Now, what we want to share with you guys next is what we call the Invitation Hub, which is how we wake up either every single week or every single morning, however much you want to do this, but with inquiries from people that want to join us, that also understand what a coach does and understand what a challenge group is. And so the way that we do this on Instagram is through stories. Obviously we're sharing it through our posts, but the real kicker is the bio link. Now I'll tell you right now, if your bio link on Instagram is your Beachbody coach link, maybe change that, because you're probably sending people running in the opposite direction, not because there's anything wrong with Beachbody, because they're thinking that you want to sell before you want to relate to them. And so what we do is we have this thing called Linktree, and in there we have our 2 buckets. So you can have more if you want, but you don't really need much more than that. Apply to join my team and apply to join my challenge group. And what you're doing is every single time that you're speaking on your stories, you can invite every single day, more than once a day, by a quick, today we're at Summit. If you want to apply to join my team and be here with me next year, click the link in my bio. You're always sending people to that hub. And the way that we do this is once they click on join my team or join my challenge group, it takes them to a free form, either done with Linktree or Typeform, that's what I use, Woofu, or Google Forms. So it's all free. It's just a lot more professional and a lot more clear to the viewers. And from there, let's talk about YouTube, because I have a feeling you guys are going to hear a lot about Instagram today, and you've already probably had your fair share. Now, YouTube is something that I've been utilizing this year, and I absolutely love it. and I would challenge you to create a 5 to 10 minute video. The one that I did and I wanted to use as an example was my morning routine. I called it my morning routine 2018, and I literally just filmed what I do every single day. I have my shake, I go downstairs and I do my workout, I go into my home gym, I turn on Beachbody on demand, and I press play. And so you can see what the video looks like here. Document, don't create. By the way, you don't have to stage all of this, just film what you do on a regular day, just like you would on Instagram stories. And so you can see that same link to apply to join my challenge group is in the description below, but it's clear what I'm doing. I'm doing the workouts, I'm doing 80-day obsession. I turned it on through Beachbody on demand, so what happens, you get a lot less objections and a lot more serious interest. Now, we wanted to give you guys an actual game plan because that was a lot of information. So this is where we would suggest to start. Number one, your stories. As you guys know, you're probably all already doing this, but 5 times a day. But one thing that you might not realize is it can be the same thing every single day. The point is to captivate your audience and to make it really, really clear what it is that you're doing and to draw them into your daily life. A live video, I want to challenge you to do it on Instagram, because if you do it on Instagram instead of on Facebook, because nobody goes live on Instagram, you can grow your following tremendously because it pushes you to the popular page, to the explore page. You're welcome for that tip. And all you need to do is just share your week's overcome. It doesn't have to be anything big, it can literally be for 5 to 7 minutes. And what that will do is it'll build trust and bring in a more solid audience. Now, the final one to do is your YouTube video. You can create an invite. You can either film your morning routine, you can film a routine video, you can do a month's obsession and invite to your group. I have a quick to-do list.
Right, simple game plan right there. So your to-do list is to go and create that 5 to 10 minute video and create a form. If it's new to you, Google it. These forms aren't as scary as you think if YouTube or if technology is not your jam. And then I'm going to encourage you to, when you get these emails, to communicate them. Try this video email, try video and voice to develop these relationships and connect with these people.
So one thing that we hope that you guys can take away from this, if nothing else, is that obviously to just be yourself. You know, you have one up above every other coach. You have a secret weapon, and it's you. You have your triumphs, you have your victories, you have all of the crap that you've been through in your life and the overcome on the other side. Maybe you're still going through, like I said, someone is waiting to know someone like you out there. So stop holding back. You have all of the stuff that you've been through. You have the things that you're about to achieve. You have all of the quirks that make you you, that make you nerd out. So build this business the way that you want to build it. Invite to it the way that you want to invite to it. Rock it out the way that you want to rock it out. Have fun and live your life the way that only you can. Thank you, guys.